Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I hope you're well. So in this video I've actually got some really big news, and I mean really big news, and this is probably one of the biggest things that's ever happened in my life, and it's something I'm going to take full control of. So what I'm planning on doing is completely restarting my life. I've got so much to do, so much to work out, and so much risk as well. It's probably one of the riskiest things I've done, but it's one of those things that is going to be the most rewarding as well. So the plan is that I'm going to leave Australia and move back to England. Now, I'm not going to buy a house like I originally planned. I was hoping to buy a house outright, which I still plan on doing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rent a place. I'm going to go to the north of England and somewhere near Scotland, maybe near Carlisle, I think it is. Yeah, so that would be really nice to do. The reason being is I've been in Australia for over 20 years, probably about 25 years, maybe even a little bit longer. I'm 33 at the moment. I moved over here when I was 11 in 2001. I've been actually here 3 times now with my parents. But the first time was with my mum and dad. Then we went back to England. Then I came back over here with my mum and my sister, and then went back to England. And then me and my mum came back out in 2015 after spending about 14 months in England. Now, the thing is, a lot of people say England's very depressing. You know, the weather changes so rapidly. You know, one minute it could be sunny, the next minute it could be raining, or there could be fog, or there could be snow, whatever. And that is so exciting for me as a landscape photographer. Having that variety and having the weather conditions change so rapidly is amazing. For me, where I live, it's either sunny, cloudy, rain, fog. But the fog very rarely happens. And yeah, it's not much. And then also the landscape doesn't change a heck of a lot. Yeah, and it's so spread out. Whereas England is so dense, but there's also so much on the doorstep. You know, you've got access to Europe, you've got access to Iceland, where I really want to go, and that's probably going to be way more affordable for me to do when I'm living in England, because I can just catch a plane over, and yeah, and there's a lot more business opportunities for me over there. I'm honestly struggling here in WA, and even if I moved over east, it's so expensive. I was looking into properties last night for a nice bungalow sort of thing, like 2-bedroom bungalow. The reason why I want to go for a bungalow, it's nice and flat, and if I've got any problems with pain, I don't have to worry about stairs. So it's easier for me to get around. And yeah, it's just going to be nicer in the night, and it's also more spread out, and the community when it comes to bungalows is more for the elderly, for the older people, which is nice, and I wouldn't mind that. And you know, they're going to be quieter, more relaxed, more civilized as well in most cases. I remember when visiting my granny in West Bay, I think it was, and yeah, she lived in a bungalow, and everyone in the neighbourhood was really friendly, really down to earth, and you know, didn't bother one another, and I just want that. I'm not going to be one of those loud neighbours. I'm going to take my stereo over my Bowers & Wilkins set up with my Rotel amplifier, but yeah, just going to keep things small and nice, and just live life, you know, simply. I'm going to buy myself a car for about £1,000 to £2,000. You know, and they're so cheap over there. You know, I was looking at them on I think it was car sales. The price of let's say a 2006 Honda CR-V in England is about £1,000. In Australia, for the similar condition, more miles over here, it's $9,000 to $10,000, which is crazy. There's so much more affordable prices. Sure, cost of living is expensive, but cost of living over here is going up. You know, the cost of houses is going up. You know, one of my friends had a house built, and in the space of a year, it went up by $80,000. Now, I can't compete with that. You know, I'm single. I sort of live on my own. You know, living with my mum at the moment, but I don't have much of an income at the moment. And even if I had like a really good income, I wouldn't be able to afford a house here. I wouldn't be able to afford the bills. I wouldn't be able to. There's a lot I can't afford. But for me to go to England and having so many more opportunities there would be fantastic. You know, I can work with businesses, work with brands, collaborate more with other photographers. You know, yeah, because we're so much more dense, and it's not as far to travel. You know, there's people that I want to do business with. That was just my little L bracket against my torch. Yeah, there's things I want to do with some of my friends here, but it's just like, how long can I do this thing for? Because I can't see it lasting for a long duration of time. It just feels like something I would only do short term and then sort of like grow and go elsewhere. But with England, it's somewhere where I want to be, and when I was living back in England in 2014, I felt at home. You know, the place was a bit of a shithole, but you know, I think of England. A lot of people in England, we dig on ourselves. We know that England's shit, but we complain about it. But I don't think we would change anything about it, because if you take that shittiness away from it, it feels kind of boring. Now, Australia to me feels like a very new civilization. There's a lot of new stuff around. There's hardly any old stuff, and it just feels too much like a toy town, too perfect. Where England, there's a lot of imperfections, but I quite like that, and there's a lot more for me to photograph over there than there is here. But, you know, the weather is colder, there's wet, it's you know, cost of living is high, wages are suck, but I won't be earning money the way that other people will be earning money. I would be earning it through my photography. I'll be in control of it fully. I'm not being paid an hourly rate. I'm being paid, you know, for what I do, my content. I'm selling prints, doing a book. I'd love to do the book when I'm over there, actually, versus here. So I'll work on content and, yeah, live over there. And rent a place and then build it up, and then eventually buy my own place, set up shop there, and just, yeah, do what I want to do and live life and feel home. Australia's never felt like home to me. It's always just felt like somewhere where I'm staying, and it's quite lonely and depressing, really. I've tried to make it home. I've tried many times, but it just hasn't felt like it. You know, when I came over here in 2001, you know, I had a load of friends in England. Sure, I wasn't doing well at school. I had difficulties. I couldn't really read and write because of my autism, and I learned by hands-on. I think that's probably why I do so well with photography, but I suck with Photoshop, and editing takes me such a long time. I really can't understand Photoshop with layers and everything, which is probably why I don't really dive into that. You know, I just use masking and Lightroom and stuff. But yeah, I find now that I do very minimal edits. Black and white takes a bit more because you've got to do the conversion. But yeah. But yeah, I'm a hands-on person. That's how I learn. That's how I do things. So yeah, and school was very, you know, you had to think, and you know, and it wasn't hands-on. It was more theory and writing and yeah, reading and writing basically, and getting told what to do. You know, a teacher stands at the front of the class, tells a bunch of about 30 people what to do, and yeah, I really suffered from it, and I was severely bullied over here for most of my school, pretty much all my school life. Then I was bullied when I went into the workplace because of being different. But in England, you still get bullied, but it's a different kind of bullying. It's more like a bit of a banter sort of thing. And that's what I've come to realise and know, and I like having banter with people. I was just going to go into some stereotypes, but I won't go into that. You know, Australia versus England. Nah, it's not about that. But yes, so for the meantime, for the next 2 years, I'm not going to buy really. Whoop, I've got a load of stuff on this desk. I'm not going to buy any more real photography gear. You know, I bought my Bronica, my film camera. I bought some lighting as well, which I'll use for taking photos of products and stuff, which will be really handy. I bought a nice little Elinchrom Ranger Quattro RX system. That was only $950, so yeah, I'll bring that with me to the UK, which will be great. But yeah, for the meantime, for the next 2 years, I'm going to do everything that I want to do and treat it as a long holiday. And it's definitely going to happen. Me moving to the UK, I'm going to save my money, and then have a bit of, you know, I'll have money to live off for hopefully about 10 months. That, you know, that'll pay for the rent, that'll pay for the bills, accommodate, you know, travelling and everything. But by then as well, hopefully my YouTube channel's, or this channel's grown bigger. And yeah, and it's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, it's definitely not going to be an easy thing. A lot of nerves. I'll probably feel like I want to chicken out, but I know that the benefits outweigh a heck of a lot. Yeah, and you know, as I said, I will struggle after 2 years to what do I create? What do I do? You know, there's not much that appeals to me. You know, I don't want to go really far north. There's a lot of crocodiles. There's a lot of things out there that want to kill you. It's very, very hot. Yeah, so it seems to be down south and then going up north, Kalbarri, Karijini sort of thing is what I want to do over the next 2 years, and then, yeah, leave and go to the UK. So, I don't know what I've said in this video. I think I've repeated myself a few times, but, yeah, I'm feeling really happy about this, and it's going to be a good move, and I'm going to feel so much better off for it. And if, you know, there's times that I want to get away from society and just go for a walk in the countryside, you know, or go to a nice forest or something for a walk. No, that sort of exists here. It's not the same, you know, I'd have to drive about 2 hours to get there. The forests aren't the same. And I'd love to, you know, walk through a forest in autumn or walk through it in spring in England and see the differences and see the changes, seeing the seasons change. You know, here the only thing that we can tell going from summer to winter, for where I live, is drop in temperature. That is it. And the sun position. But yeah. Anyway, I feel like it's a bit of a long one. I didn't mean to, but yeah. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. So yeah, anyway, I'll let you be, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye for now.